Hello, YouTube. My cold's getting a little better. Still got some throat problems, but we'll get through it. I think the next project is looking at us in the face. I think it's time to do the carpet. Now, you may think I'm crazy, but I think it's time to do the carpet because there's nothing underneath. I can put the carpet in and I can poke things through holes that need to be put in the carpet right now. And if it's on the frame, I can't do that. There's always a but. But the first thing we got to do is refinish this. Now, do I do it in the color that it is now, which is black, or do I do it in the floor? I think I do it in the original color, but we have to redo it. So let's get it done. Here we go. And out it comes. And we'll blow the dust off. And we have a clean piece to work with. A little black powder on our access panel and on the windshield hold downs and the bolts for the windshield hold downs. We'll do them all at once. And 45 minutes after we started, we have a piece after one coat that can be handled and screwed in without marring the surface, rather than the 11 coats of paint, 3 coats of primer, 3 coats of base coat, 5 coats of finish, and then having to wait 48 hours to use it and still be careful of it. This, rock hard. I'm just going to set this in place for now. We have to come back and put butyl in, and I'll just put a couple screws in to hold it in place so that we can do the carpet. That should be enough, I would think. Let's set the carpet in place. This carpet is from Stock Interiors. These bulges that you see here are actually in the floor. There's no yielding there. The molding is actually very good. Everywhere except I need to stretch that out a little bit more. Now, I have had this sitting in here off and on for the last 3 weeks or so, and it really does make a difference if you let it sit for a while. These moldings aren't anywhere near as obvious when the carpet first comes to you, and the longer you let it sit on the carpet, on the floor pan, the more they come out. So let's continue putting the carpets in. Huh? Yeah. There's the pieces kind of laid in place. Now I need some expert advice on how to trim them so that they'll lay completely flat. Here, let me show you what I mean. If you look right there, there's 2 ribs that stick out so the carpet can't lay flat against the outside wall. And I'd like to split the carpet so it lays down flat, but I want some advice on how to do that first. With the carpet laid down, and we're pretty sure where we've got it is where it's going to go, we have a problem right here in the corner where there's two ribs that come out from the side of the vehicle. And what we're going to do is, rather than cut it with a pair of scissors, because I think it would fray, we're going to use a soldering gun with a tip that I've never used before, but there's always the tip in the kit. It's like a little shovel thing. I don't know if you can see it, but that's it. And it seems to cut the carpet pretty well. So my wife is going to mark the location. She's the seamstress, and then I'm going to cut it. But now my question is this mark in the right location?
Based on what you told me to do over there, yes.
It looks like it is. I think you're right. All right, can you zoom in on that?
Is it okay?
I think it's pretty good. I think that cut is really good. It lays flat on the floor. There's no bulging. Now we can move on to the next project. What we're doing now is finding the location of the holes for the seat. And what I've done is I've crawled underneath the Jeep, and I have a poker in my hand, and I'm going to poke up through the carpet where the bolt should be. And then my wife, Ann, the lovely Ann, is going to mark the location, except that the flashlight's not working.
Really?
Yeah. Now it's working. Now it's not.
Okay, which hole are you going to start with?
The one that's hard.
Which one is hard?
That's the one
This one?
forward
On the hump?
on the tunnel. Forward on the tunnel.
Yep, go for it. Okay, stop, stop. Okay. Now what is that?
Just go back to the next one.
Okay.
So now that we've marked the locations of where the holes need to be, we're going to take the soldering gun and melt ourselves a hole. And that way the carpet won't run. If you try to use a drill, the drill can catch the edge of the material and it'll run on you. Doing it this way, what I've done is melted the plastic so that it won't run. And you got to be careful because the carpet melts real easy. So you don't want to make it a huge hole.
Don't burn yourself.
And my wife is telling me not to burn myself. I see daylight, 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 daylight. I think we're in the right spot. Let's put some bolts in to hold the carpet in position. Oops, where's that hole? We got a problem there. Okay, where is the hole? There's the hole. Not exactly where we planned it, but we can get to it. That'd be a little difficult to do that in all the seats there. We've marked the holes for the center console the same way we marked the holes for the seat. We poked a poker up through the carpet and then mark where the holes will be, and we'll burn those holes in so we don't get any runs. And they're underneath the bracket on the inside of the console so that it won't show. And I think I'm going to make just a simple X here for the screw to go through. Okay, we've got the console bolts located in the carpet, and we have the seat bolts located in the carpet. What we're looking at here is the underside of the Jeep, and this is the hole for the transfer gauge shift lever, and this is the hole for the 5-speed transmission lever. And what we have to do is mark those locations in the jute, because what I want to do is trim that jute back about 1 inch from the opening, and then have the opening of the carpet come down to the edge here so it's not so thick right where we put the boot on. In fact, you know, the boot might just make a little recess there and it'll look kind of neat. So that's what we need to do. We need to take this carpet back out, trim back this jute, put it back in, mark where we need to cut the hole for the levers, and then cut those holes. So here we go. So out come all these bolts. This will be the first test to see if we can put them all back in the same spot, I guess. Now that I've got all the bolts out, I'm going to take it over to the workbench, and we're going to cut out the jute that we marked underneath the carpet. So here it comes out. Here's the areas that we marked out. And what I want to do is cut about 1 inch further back so that the carpet will lay down on the floor. And I have a sharp razor blade knife, and let's try to just cut the jute and not the carpet. That's not working. Boy, we're having a tough time cutting this thing. It doesn't want to cut. What am I going to cut that with?
We haven't even gotten to the bottom.
Well, the only way we've found to cut this stuff is with a pair of wire cutters and a little bit at a time, sliding it underneath in between the carpet and the top of the jute and just squeezing and working our way across. But boy, it's slow.
Yeah, that is really, really hard, isn't it?
All right, there's the hole for the transfer case shift lever. We got to go back and we got to refine the hole for the boot itself. Now we got to do this one. Now what I'll do is when I get under here, I'll push up where I want you to push down. So wait a second until I tell you. All right, this is the center of the back one.
I'm pushing it down.
Okay. Okay, now I want you to push down. And now on right here.
The shifter's way over there?
Yeah.
It's on the passenger side?
Yeah. Right there, that's the center. Okay. So here's the outline of the shifter. And obviously we have to trim back this butte a little bit further. So give me some time to do that.
Do you want me to put this on the tripod?
No, that's all right. So that looks good. That'll bolt down real nice. And it's in the right spot. So now we got to do the dimmer switch. Oh, I think it's perfect. So now let's put some bolts back in before we do this. This is the most difficult corner I think we've come across. We've got the seat bolts in, we've got the console bolts in, we've got the holes for the shifters in, and we got the hole for the dimmer switch. And now what we got to do is figure out how to get around this roll bar. Now, I'm not convinced that what they might want you to do is to take the roll bar out, put the carpet underneath the mount, and put the carpet and put the roll bar back. But I don't want to do that. I want to be able to take the carpet out fairly easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut around the tube so that the carpet will lay into the corner and just the tube will show. And my wife's going to be the one to mark it off so that we can cut it. So here we go.
We cut on the inside of this line, but not by much. So if you just cut so you could see the line
Okay.
on that side, you should be good.
All right.
You can come back up like this.
Yeah.
It's not going to be right, but come back up like that.
Yeah.
It's almost right. That's not quite right, but almost right. Okay, now, on the other side, we tried to get this.
Remember, we want to tuck it in behind the pipe. So it shouldn't necessarily be the width of the pipe.
So take a little too much off. So I want you, when you cut it, when you burn it, I want you to burn it so that
You want me to cut the line off.
you see the line.
You want me to cut the line off.
Correct. So now it's like the other one. So it's up here.
Okay, that's good. I like that better. That's much better. What we're doing here now is marking the hole for the seat belt. And I'll burn that hole in now. There's the one, now we got to do the other one. I want to put some Velcro in here to hold these in place. What has to happen here is this carpet comes forward and just lays on top of this one, so we don't want this to come out. So we're going to put a piece of Velcro here, 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 and continue across and see if that holds the carpet in place. So here we go. We want one right here. I'll put it a little more towards the center. That way we won't have to put one in the center. We want to put one here in the corner so that this carpet stays up like that. So we'll put it right there. Now, I should mention that the instructions that come with this carpet says you're supposed to glue the carpet to the Jeep, and I'm not going to do that. And the way the original carpet was held into this Jeep was with Velcro, and that's why we're using Velcro now. We have to give this Velcro adhesive 15 minutes, it says. Well, it doesn't say, it kind of indicates it. So what we're going to do is move on to the back carpet. This back carpet just lays here on top of the belly carpet, and we're going to put the holes in it just like we did the holes in the belly carpet, and then we'll come back and put the felt side of the Velcro in place, and this carpet will be held in place. We're going to poke up through this hole so we can locate these holes. There we go. And my wife is going to mark it. Now we're going to do the other side. Okay, we'll burn a hole right here. Okay, now we have to do the center one. And the center one obviously has jute in back of it. So how are we going to do that? I think what we have to do is peel the carpet back, find the hole, and melt the carpet, and melt the jute. There it is, it's over there. It's way over there. Now, fortunately, the rear seat bracket covers that entire strip by about 2 inches. So that little mistake there will be underneath the bracket. Now we do the Velcro. So we've waited 15 minutes, because the instructions sort of indicated 15 minutes. And now we'll put these pads on the carpet that will hold the carpet in place. I don't want to necessarily put it up in place because I don't know about the adhesive on the Velcro. Got another one?
This one's weird. You don't think it'll set up?
No. It's just coming right off. See, look.
Yeah, I see it. Well, what's that? You got two together? It can't...
No, these all came off.
Oh.
All right, take these, let's see if we can get these off. Okay, in case you didn't catch that, Velcro was a failure. It doesn't stick to the carpet. I'm not sure how we're going to hold this down. I know I'm not going to glue it down. I didn't want to give up on the Velcro because that's the way it was held in originally, and I want to be able to take this carpet out if I have to. I don't want to glue it in. So I had some other pieces of Velcro, and what I found is that the fuzzy part of this Velcro sticks really well to the carpet, but the hook part of it doesn't stick to the metal at all. Now, the original Velcro that we were working with, that sticks to the metal but doesn't stick to the carpet. So I'm mixing the two, black to gray, and it seems to be working. Now there's one other little trick. What I'm doing is I'm taking some brake clean and I'm trying to get any wax or anything off the back of the carpet so that felt will stick. So let's do the same thing. We want one there, we want here, here, etc., all the way across, and we'll see if this holds. I have all the pieces of Velcro stuck to the back of the tape, and it's stuck pretty good, except for these, which we already did. And now we're going to fold this back and try to put it in place. Okay, it's held in place. It's not going anywhere, and I can get it out. Now we can move forward. I decided to pull the carpet back out so that I could put the floor plugs in so I could leave the carpet in and not take it back out. And it gave me a good opportunity to see if this Velcro was going to stick. I had one failure here. It came off the carpet. The rest of them are pretty much there. So this is the one that's missing. This is the one that came off. The rest of them stuck. So that's pretty good. Now we're going to take the carpet out, and I'm going to put the floor plugs in, and I'll put Velcro on this side also to hold the tops up. I don't do this. In fact, in all the videotaping I've been doing, I have not given a negative review to any vendor. I've just gone along. But I think in this case we have two problems, one with the vendor and one with the manufacturer. The first problem is that, well, that's really not the first problem. The first thing that happened is we got our fender well covers. One was seamed and one was not. And they said, send it back and we'll seam the other. What they did is they sent two new ones back. And the two new ones are out of a different run. The pile is not as thick as the pile that's in the original run. And this bend, this molded bend, is about 3 inches too high. So it doesn't fit. And if I go for length, it's that much too long. So, you know, I went back and forth with the vendor, and the vendor finally said I had a hateful attitude and they didn't want to deal with me anymore, so they gave me a total refund and we're done. And the manufacturer, this is a different run, definitely a different run, This is a piece from the original run. In the original run, the back was clear. And in this run, the back is black. In addition, it's a different color. Now, I don't know if it shows up on the camera or not, but this piece is darker than this piece. And finally, it's the pile. If I smooth the pile out, this pile is much more plush than what this one is. This is very bumpy, and this is very even. So the materials are not the same. That's enough of my gripe. I may even shorten it up. Let's show you what we did to make it fit. So I think the first thing that we did on the other side was cut it to length.
So I agree with cutting it to length.
So the first thing we're going to do is cut a slit in the carpet to accommodate the cable holder.
I don't think it's enough.
No, we got to take more.
Short.
No, we got to take quite a bit more out. See how much?
Yeah.
Half inch. What we've determined is that we have to cut off about a half inch to get this to fit. And I got a piece of tape here that's about a half inch wide. And we'll cut the carpet that wide.
Okay.
I think it's already into the crease and it still needs more.
Okay. So is it like that all the way down?
Yeah, it's even. Which doesn't make sense.
Which doesn't make sense.
And this wants to go back a little bit more, which means we should slit that a little bit more.
Okay.
And we should cut that a little bit more.
Okay.
So let's slit this a little, about,
You told me it didn't match the bottom. That's what you were worried about before. Is it still on the bottom?
no, it's not. There's a gap there. There's nothing we can do about it. Yeah, let me, okay, on our third attempt to get that cut to the right length, I believe we've got it. Now what we need to do is cut for the roll bar. Now, in order to cut for this roll bar, what we have to do is put a slit in the carpet so we can get to the roll bar, and we can follow the natural binding on the carpet to get it fairly straight. I want to do the bottom first.
What's the bottom? This?
This.
Oh, okay. Thought it was the top.
So we got to go down that far. Put it down.
No, it's not enough.
I know it's not enough.
You gotta go to here.
Yeah. Go back.
You gotta go to here.
Yeah, right there.
So hold on. Right there.
There.
And you gotta make a circle.
So now, where are we going? We're going like this.
Not bad.
Boy, that was close.
That was not bad.
Yeah. See now, when
That's not bad.
I just got to put a little thing in there.
Yep, that's not bad. Okay, now we gotta do this one.
We got to cut this right
Yep,
here.
yeah.
Let's get that.
Okay. Do you want to mark it, or you good? You want? Oh, you like that?
Don't take any more than you absolutely have to.
Okay, take that away. I want you to cut on the inside of this line, on this side of the line, because the pen was too thick. Oh, that's pretty good. That's our best one yet.
All right.
That's our best one yet.
All right, we got to do this one yet.
We're an expert now. We can do this for anybody.
Yep.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah. With the carpet cut around the roll bar, the tailgate cable holder, and we bend it around on the floor underneath the floor mat, it fits pretty good so far. except that up here in this corner, because this is too long, we need to cut a relief here so that the carpet will bend down. Right now we have this huge fold here. So what we're going to do is cut right along the fold, and that'll create an extra flap. Then we'll cut the flap off, and then the two will go together.
Okay, now what are you going to do? How are you going to mark this?
Give me the poker. Where's the poker? Here's the poker.
That's how we marked it, that's right.
I got it. No, this down here.
I know, but I got it so that you would see it. You have the straight edge there if you need it.
So this will be the first cut in the fold.
You got it? Okay.
Okay, now before we give this fold a cut, we'll put a relief cut up here so it'll go down better.
Correct. And that was going to be here.
Let me move your hand. Right there.
I know.
So we have this excess carpet here, and we're going to cut that off so that the two match. So now this cut almost goes away. So the next thing we got to do is hold this thing in place with a whole bunch of Velcro because it fits terrible. I'm glad I took the carpet off because I'd forgotten that I hadn't put all the screws in this panel. But now with all the screws in, we'll put the hole plugs in and put the carpet back and put some Velcro at the top so it doesn't fall down. There weren't any floor plugs in the Jeep when I got it. And these are aftermarket floor plugs, but they don't look like the originals. The originals were flat. And this has a recess to it. So it's unfortunate, but that's what we've got. So we're going to use it. I'm going to stick these Velcro patches where I think they go, and then I'll peel the back off as I put the carpet in place. So we'll get all the Velcro in place, put the carpet down, and then peel the back off of the piece that goes on the carpet. We've got to treat that with brake clean anyway, so we'll do it that way. So I've got the area with all the Velcro folded over so it won't stick yet. With the carpet held into position by the bolts, we can peel back this carpet here. We'll take some brake clean on a rag and wipe the areas that the Velcro is going to be in contact with. And now the carpet is Velcroed in place. The transmission in this vehicle is a T5. and this is the shifter boot for a T5. And I'm locating the holes for that shifter boot. And the way I did that is I took my poker, went down through the transfer case shifter hole, and found the hole in the bottom and poked up through. And now what I can do is take the boot off with these pokers still in there, and I can mark where the hole is. I push that down through and mark the hole, push that down through, mark the hole, push that down through, and mark the hole. In fact, I've started doing that with the transfer case also. I've changed the tip on the soldering gun to the normal soldering gun tip so I can burn just a small hole for these screws. Now we have to find the rest of the holes for the transfer case shifter boot. Now that we got a couple of them lined up, the rest of them should be fairly easy to find. Now, these two holes are marked, so we don't have to take those out. What we do have to do is take this one out, and this one out, and mark the hole. There's that hole. If I've done this right, it should be a fairly simple task to screw these things in. And I'll tell you, I'm glad I cut the jute away, because these screws aren't all that long. And it has to go through the shifter boot, through the carpet, and into the floor. Those screws are just long enough. And I have all the screws into the boot because it's a tight fit. And there's one. The boots are installed. They line up. We can take them back out when we need to put the shifters in. There's two more bolt holes that we have to locate in this front carpet. And those are the two bolt holes for the safety belts for the front seats. And they're right about there. I'm going to go underneath the Jeep and poke up, and hopefully I can use this Phillips for the other side, and we only have to go under the Jeep once. So I'm underneath the Jeep, and this is the first one. Hopefully we can get up through it. Felt like I went through it. These are large bolts, so I'll mark a circle in the floor around the poker. And we got to be pretty precise with this because it's just a bolt coming through. I guess it's covered by the safety belt. And the center of the hole is where we will burn. But we're going to change the tip back to the other tip. And we'll burn a round hole. Same thing here. Right down through the bolt hole. Make the hole round and pull out. And we can stick our safety belt bolt down through the hole and screw it in. A couple more safety belt bolts. One goes in there. Another one goes in here. We have to put a slit in this corner so it can go around the corner. And it's called a relief cut. and it'll leave two overhanging tabs, but it'll go around the corner and fit nicely. And that gets covered up with the side piece. We'll wipe down the surfaces that we're going to put Velcro on with some brake clean, because that's the only thing that seems to make the one pad stick. Let's put some Velcro down. We'll start right there. And we'll start removing the sticky on the top part and push it into place. Now we'll peel this one off. And peel this one off. And stick that one down. See what's nice about that Velcro is we can reposition this. There we go. There we go. Okay. Now we gotta take these off. Take this one off. Take that one off. And take that one off. Pull it down. Okay. That's as good as that's going to fit. We'll hose down our side piece, so I don't have to worry about where I stick this stuff. There must be some kind of wax on here or something for releasing it from the mold. We can start sticking these things on. With all our Velcro in place, let's put the side panel in. And we'll do it by lining up the front here. Okay. Push it into the Velcro. Now we can put the jute down in the bed. And we want to line up this hole right here. Then we put the carpet in. Find the hole. And put our seat bolts in. I'm not sure what to do with this piece. It doesn't really fit well between the cable ends. And it covers up the latches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Velcro here, 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 so that I can get to the latches. And if I don't like it, this stuff does peel off. It's a little work, but it comes off, and I can take it back off. So we'll stick another one right there. Now we got to peel the backs off of these felt pads, and they don't come off very easy. I'm going to stick it down. with all our Velcro in place and knowing that we can move it around if we don't like where it goes, we'll stick it up underneath that cable clamp and lay it down. Closes. I can get to the latches. I don't know if I like it or not. Well, I'm gonna have to live with that for a little while. Well, guys, I made a mistake. Did you catch it? I'm sure there's one person out there that caught it. Anyway, what I forgot to do was put the butyl tape to seal the access panel to the transmission in. And what that means, of course, is everything has to come out. That will allow us to make sure that our Velcro is going to come apart the way we want it to come apart. Here we go. Now, I am going to peel it gently. That one came off. Stayed on the carpet. It came off with the carpet. So did that one. All right. And I've revealed the scene of the crime. Now we'll take these screws out. Off comes the plate. What we need is a nice, neat, half-inch wide piece of butyl tape to go around there, and I think we can do that. Here's our butyl tape, and what I think I'll do is I'll cut off maybe that long of a piece so it's manageable. Get a couple pieces that long. And what I'm going to do is try to run a slice down the length of this, cutting through the backing to make this a little thinner. Did we do it? Whoops. Yes, we did. And we'll start running our butyl tape around. And butyl is fairly easy to deal with, as long as you don't press it with your fingers. If you get your fingers pressed into it, then it's hard to keep it in good shape. Now I'm going to have to take the backing off here to make this bend, but the butyl will make the bend and seal nicely. It won't do it with backing tape on, but without it, it goes around real nice. Oops. And as long as you don't push on it, it'll come back off. So here's a 90-degree turn, and it just goes around it like nothing. Well, it looks like I cut one strip too many. To seal our two ends together, all we have to do is push it together. I take it, put right up next to it, and squish it together. And keep right on going. Another 90-degree turn. And we're on the home stretch. Well, I could have started in a better spot, I guess. But we just cut it off. squeeze it together. Now we can put the cover back in place. I don't want to push down yet because I want to get at least one screw hole lined up. And there it is right there. And we'll put a screw right in that. And with that, that's the last screw. And we can move back on the road to recovery. With all the screws back in our boots and snug down, we're back to where we were, and we now continue on. There's one last piece of carpet in the kit, and it goes sort of here. One edge wants to go up against the firewall. Then the bottom edge wants to be on the floor. This piece fits as well as the wheel well covers. I think I'm going to try it right there. And I'm going to mark the back by just I got a nice line, I'll go cut that. Let's see how it fits. We'll put it up in here. Okay, it falls right into place. I don't have any more Velcro. I'm gonna have to wait on the Velcro, but I think that's good enough. Now let's take a look at this piece. We have this rib here that we have to worry about. We'll hold this piece of carpet up here. We'll mark it the same way as we did this piece. Okay, let me mark that before we lose it. So our mark is here. Now, we got it cut it off before there because there's a bulge right here. So we have to accommodate for that bulge because we want this carpet right up against the side of the vehicle. So that bulge starts here. And it slants in to about there. So something like this. Then we go straight up. And we should clear the hinge. So let me go cut that. This is the final piece. And let's see how it fits. Fits into the crevice, stays there by itself, and piece of Velcro. And that thing's going to stay there for good. The question is, do I like it? Time for a little reflection now that the project is done, or close to being done. I think that this front tub piece of carpet fits amazingly well around all the contours that are in the floor. And the hemmed edges of the carpet meet exactly at the edges of the Jeep. And the same thing for the hemmed edge at the front here. It's right at the line of the firewall. So to this far back, excellent. This is really good. The fender well cover here is too short. There's a molded in bend right here at the edge of the fender well. And no matter how hard you pull down, this fender well cover is not long enough to reach the floor. Now right here around the corner, there's 3 inches underneath this carpet, which is causing another problem. But here in the corner, it's too short. The belly carpet could have come back a little bit further, and that would have covered this hole. What I'm gonna do is I have a piece of scrap, and I'm just gonna stick it in here, and when I get some tape, some carpet tape. I'll tape it in and it'll stay there, and that looks a lot better than that big gaping hole. This fender well cover is causing another problem, and that is this floor panel doesn't lay flat. And the reason it doesn't lay flat is because we have 3 inches of this fender well cover folded underneath the center one. You can see that it was originally hemmed here and meant to end at the floor of the vehicle, but now is underneath the carpet, causes an extra thickness so the center carpet won't lay down flat. The only real solution I have to that, and I really don't want to do it, is I could come along here and right at the corner I could cut this carpet off, and I'm going to have a raw edge, and I'm afraid it's going to show. The last thought I have is I could be lazy and I could just put this seat brace in. And if I put the seat brace in, it levels out the carpet. So that is a second option, and I don't know which one I'm going to go for. We've talked about these fender wells before, and what I'm going to show you now is I'm going to show you the color difference. I'm going to hold down this bulge here so that it's even, and we're going to look at the color of the carpet on the fender well and the color of the carpet on the floor, and to me, this color is darker. Not only is it darker, but the pile in it is much rougher than what this pile is. And I don't know about this piece. I don't know if it's a stock piece or not. I'm going to have to find out if this belongs on here or not. Doesn't fit well between the 2 hangers. And then there's a problem with the latch. No matter what I do, this is always going to be a curled edge, and that's not going to look good. I mean, it does close up, and you can get to the latch to lock it up, but the carpet hangs off of it. It just doesn't look right. If they were going to do this, there should have been a cutout here for the latch. My wife and I worked hard on this project, and it spanned several weeks. It may not look at it in the video, although it's one of the longest videos I've done. We worked very hard to try to make this fit, and it doesn't fit. The fender well covers throw everything off. Now, if the fender well covers fit, then I think everything else would fit. So the question is, what do I do? The vendor has told me that I have a hateful attitude. They don't want to deal with me anymore, and they gave me a full refund. So I'm really not tied to anything. I'm kind of thinking that I might order another kit, but where do I order? And I want a different vendor. So got to look at that too. Did we meet our goals? No, I don't think so. The installation is not good enough. We're not going to leave it the way it is. If you enjoyed the video, there will be more.